Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, listen, I want to talk to y'all real quick about Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Thailand because they done dropped like 3 episodes from my understanding. After that, it's going to be a series of episodes that's going to drop on a weekly basis. But yeah, I wanted to talk about a few things that I jotted down. Not so much as the whole episode, but as I was going throughout the whole episode, girl, I was jotting down a few things. First of all, Miss Porsha Williams is back, okay? So congratulations to Miss Porsha for being back on the TV screens. I'm sure a lot of her fans have truly missed her, okay? So Miss Girl is back, and she's just really glad to be there. Girl, they gave Porsha the best room in the house, in all honesty, honey. Now, Gizelle and Candiace, we see them on the show FaceTiming each other, and they just, all smiley faces, cracking jokes, whatever the case is. And I'm like, okay, so y'all good, even though this lady put allegations out there about your husband. And keep in mind, when Gizelle put all of this out there, they were filming the middle of the season. So ever since Miss Gizelle went to Candiace about the drama about her husband, which was really at the top of the season, Candiace ain't really been featuring her. But I guess they've been trying to like let go of whatever issues they got and keep it separate from Ultimate Girls Trip and let it be the Potomac mess. I'm not sure, but I feel like y'all could be forever if she was up there saying stuff about your husband that wasn't a fact, okay? But either way, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do anyway, girl, because it's just how y'all is, all right? Now, Whitney says that Candiace, because as everybody was coming on the trip, they were trying to identify who they liked, who they were more nervous about seeing, who they thought they would get along with, who they didn't think they would get along with. What I made a note of for me was Whitney saying that she didn't think she would be able to get along with Miss Candiace because she felt like Candiace was her least favorite housewife because Candiace goes for the jugular, according to Miss Whitney. Well, Whitney, I feel like you've become one of my least favorites as well, especially over there on Salt Lake City, because I just feel like you be fake sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like when I was watching, before I kind of stopped watching the last season, just watching how Whitney was moving, I was like, Whitney, you're getting on my, maybe it was last season too, not just this previous season, but the season before last. Whitney was a fave of mine. And then I noticed that I started feeling like, Whitney, you're getting on my nerves. Like, I don't know what you're on, but you're irritating my soul for real, okay? But everybody's entitled. If you felt like Candiace wasn't, you know what I'm saying, a vibe or whatever based on how you saw the show, that makes sense too, because it ain't like you know that lady in person. You only know what it is that you see on TV. So now you get the opportunity to actually get to know her in person. So we'll see how that's gonna go. Because you might end up liking her, or you might still not like her based on what it is you saw. So we'll see. Gizelle. Gizelle doesn't hold her nosiness back. She doesn't hold it back because she immediately starts to interrogate Heather because she wanted to get Heather's thoughts about Jen Shaw. And she's asking her like, girl, I would like to know the tea. Like, did you know that she was not innocent? Or did you always believe that she was innocent? And Heather said that she believed whatever Jen told her because Jen was out there saying, I put it on my life. I put it on my family's life, I'm innocent. So, of course, Heather being a good friend to Jen, she didn't want to look bad. So she rolled with her friend, so it is what it is. Okay. I also feel like Heather still don't know whether Jen was telling the truth or not. Like, yeah, she may have changed her plea to guilty or whatever, but she still don't know if that lady was truly guilty. But at the end of the day, she was found guilty. And she going to be in prison for the rest of the next few years, okay? Now, I did appreciate Heather coming to the, not Heather, but Alexia coming to the front. Because, I don't even know if Alexia did time. I'm thinking about Teresa. I think Teresa did time over there on New Jersey. So when Alexia said, if you're facing 30 years, girl, you is gonna change that plea to guilty, honey, just so you can get a lesser charge, or in hopes of getting a lesser charge. And that's exactly what Jen Shaw did. What Jen Shaw should have did, in my personal opinion, was probably do that in the very beginning. Go ahead and do that in the beginning. One, you let Stu beat you to it. So he pled guilty before you ready to flip on you. And then now you was so, I'm innocent. And then you turned around and flipped it to guilty. And then now you doing on 5 to some years. You probably could have did less than that if you would have just did it from the beginning. Like, let me go ahead and plead guilty. I'm wrong, Your Honor. I'm wrong. I can't beat these charges, girl. Let me go ahead and go. So, You did it to yourself, girl. You shouldn't have been out there stealing no folks' money. You would have never been in this position. And then some of you had somebody else managing your stuff. Good, whatever. Anywho, back to the ladies on the trip because Jen, you on a whole different type of trip right now. All right. Now, Whitney. Whitney says that she thinks Jen is a master manipulator. And I disagree with that. Y'all let me know, but I don't think that Jen is a master manipulator. And the reason I say that is because a lot of Jen's bullshit that we would see on the show, we saw it a mile away. So who the hell was she manipulating? Because she wasn't manipulating us. We saw Jen for the lies and the bullshit that she was giving. We saw her. So she may have gotten gooped Heather. And I honestly feel like Heather wasn't truly gooped. But I do feel like Heather can be a people pleaser. I think Heather yearns for like approval and stuff like that. So I feel like she just wanted to be that good. Like I think Jen and Heather fell out at one point. So I think Heather just wanted to show that she was a better friend than what Jen thought she was. So she was loyal to a fault. And, that's on her. But I don't think she was manipulated. I think Heather knew exactly what the hell was going on. She was just trying to be a quote-unquote loyal friend just in case things went in the opposite direction, girl. Yikes. But let's keep going. So Leah and Candiace seem to be getting along very well, okay? I don't know. We're going to see how Leah is. I feel like I might like Leah, but I don't know. All right? Her and Candiace were talking. They talked about Whitney. No, I'm sorry. Whitney came up there where they were, and they all were talking in general. And I think they talked to her about she and Heather's relationship because we saw on the show how they were so close. They were cousins. And then they kind of like started to fall apart or whatever. They weren't as close because Miss Whitney decided to be messy with Lisa Barlow and tell her about the rumors and stuff like that. And she needed Heather to back her up on that. But from what I can recall, they weren't even supposed to have that conversation with Heather at that time. And I feel like Whitney may have taken it upon herself. But I don't know because I also thought Whitney said that she was going to have that conversation with Lisa. So I'm not sure. It was something I feel like Whitney was going to have the conversation with Lisa, but I don't think that it was the proper time. It was something that was off about that because I don't think I had Whitney's full back on that situation. But anywho, so, yeah. What's funny as Leah and Candiace are talking to Whitney about her show and about, her relationship with Heather, what's hilarious for me is the fact that you could tell that they don't even watch the show. They don't pay attention to, like, just off of the questions. So I was chuckling just a little bit off of that. Leah asked Candiace about her relationship with Gizelle. And she says, we cool, but at the end of the day, you can't trust her. Because one thing about Gizelle, she's going to do what's best for the ratings. And let me tell you, I don't think Candiace lied. I was watching the screen but did she lie? I feel like she's giving it like it's a fact. I think she was just being honest. Like, yeah, that's how Gizelle is because how I see her on this show, the way that she was coming and she was asking questions of the ladies, just, hey, what about this and what about that? And I want to know about this. It was giving me producer's pet. Like the producers came to you, they told you what all they want you to do. And you was like, okay, cool, I could do that. When I got to the table, I'm going to lay it on thick with the ladies. So, yeah, whatever you can do for ratings, I think Candiace hit the nail on the head. What else? Heather, okay? Heather talks with Gizelle and talks to Porsha. And as Leah is heading their way, Heather says something like, hey, let's get her drunk. Let's get her drunk. And I think Gizelle said something about Leah possibly being sober or Heather saying that she doesn't drink. And then Gizelle was like, well, would that be a good thing, though? Like to get her drunk if that's not something she's trying to do. So I'm looking at the screen like, that's interesting. I never considered Gizelle to actually really care. You know what I'm saying? About somebody else that what they got going on for real. But I don't know. It seems like she's gunning to start some drama up with Heather and somebody else. So, seems like she was going to bring that up anyway, right? So when Leah came around, that's when so Leah couldn't even get her butt warm on the seat before Gizelle brought it up and said, hey, where are you in your sobriety situation? Because Heather was over here trying to get you drunk. And I told her I ain't know if that was going to be a good idea. Like she immediately threw Heather under the bus. So the way she came at Heather in the beginning, like, tell me about the Jen Shaw. What's going on with you and Whitney? Like the way she was coming, it was giving, okay, I'm about to get Heather involved in some drama. Like I'm about to get some of that type of drama started. That's what I was getting from Gizelle. So Heather says that Leah said no, because Heather was like, what would you do if you had a drink this week or something? She was like, girl, it would ruin my life. So then that's when Heather said, "Oh my God, like I didn't know it would ruin your life or whatever like that." And she was like, "Yeah, girl, it would because I was like I had drugs and alcohol issues." And that's when Heather said, "I read your book." And I'm like, "Well, if you read her book, why the fuck would you want to sit up there and get this lady drunk if you read her book front to back, back to front, and you already know everything that she's been through? Why would you say that?" So that's just what Heather said. So because of that, Leah was thinking the same thing I was thinking. Like if you read my book and you knew what was going on, given so every bit of fan is what you are, then why would you sit up there and say that, try and sit up there and set me up, girl, try and play me? Girl, I got my good eye on you because I don't trust you like that. And I said, yeah, girl, don't trust her. Don't trust Heather and don't trust Whitney. Don't trust the man one of them, okay? What else happened? So later on, of course, we talked about Gizelle drilling the questions at different times at the tables, at different settings. So they had a night setting for dinner. Then I think they had lunch earlier that day. And, they drilling the questions, trying to find out the tea. So, Heather, once we get to the dinner scene, Gizelle pretty much wants to go around and get everybody's best and worst impressions of everyone. Like, who was your best impression? Who was your worst impression? What we learned is that Heather was a lot of people's worst impression, for sure. Leah went ahead and called Heather out right out the gate, and I didn't even catch this, so shout out to the beautiful bean footage, because when they rolled it back, what we ended up seeing and hearing was Heather approaching Leah when she got there and told her about how she pretty much understands that she's going through her sobriety and all of that, and she feels the need to like support her. She was like, I don't know how you're gonna last this week with these ladies and not have a drink, but I feel obligated to support you, but I want to have a drink as well. Heather act like she did not remember any of that, which is crazy because Whitney just told the ladies that Heather was gonna do that. She says Heather acts like a little toddler, where she often acts like she doesn't remember what she did once she's being chastised. But if somebody was praising her for it, she would continue to do it and do it, right? And so that's exactly what happened. Heather said, I don't remember telling you that. And I loved how Leah threw Whitney under the bus. And she said, well, Whitney told us you would say that. And then Whitney said, well, whoa, what a way to throw me under the bus. And I was like, yes, and I'm glad. So they move on from there because the ladies did eventually end up making up. So they are in a better place. Gizelle and, first of all, Marysol and Alexia like to talk in their Spanglish voices. Gizelle doesn't like that. It grinds their gears, okay? When the ladies are going around the table, Marysol let Gizelle know that she was her worst impression because she didn't like that Gizelle sat up there trying to control their language and how they talk. And I kind of was like, girl, you can't control what them folks do. Now I understand how you feeling. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know the language of people talking and you wondering if they talking about you or whatever the case, when you at the nail shop or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, girl, that's their language. You can't police that. Like calm down. So Marysol had to check her. So Gizelle gave her an example of why she feels that way. And I understood it, but I didn't because I'm like, you trying to treat these ladies like they're your kids or something. Because her daughters are fluent in Spanish, according to Gizelle. And whenever they start having conversations in Spanish, it, ticks her off because she thinks they're talking about her. And she feels like she's being left out of things and stuff. And I'm like, girl, that's your nosiness being heightened to another level that you feel that you need to be involved in all conversations. Like you in charge of the girls. You're in charge of your girls, but you're not in charge of these girls over here, okay? And that's when Gizelle pretty much acknowledged, like, I'm wrong for that. That's y'all language. That's what y'all do. Y'all do y'all thing. I shouldn't have overstepped my boundaries on that. So we good, okay? So I'm glad that Marysol pretty much called Gizelle out. You know what I'm saying? So Gizelle was trying to make it an issue and wanted everybody else to, but Candiace was just like, girl, it ain't no issue for me. Y'all talking y'all language, because once they air this, I'm going to know what you said anyway, girl. They going to run them credits, and I'm going to see what the hell y'all really was talking about. So it's all good with me, right? So Alexia pretty much told Gizelle that, I really think that you ask a lot of questions to avoid answering them. And I was just like Candiace. Candiace says, yep, that's it. I said, okay, we see each other. We see each other then. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And Gizelle said, no, that's not it. That's not it. She says, you guys can ask the questions. And then Candiace said, but girl, when people ask you the questions, you be all dry and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And she do. And she also deflects. And she also don't give you enough either. But you want to dig and dig and dig in other people's information. So, yeah, all the ladies got it right. And Alexia ain't even on your show. Okay, and Alexia already catching on to how you operate and how you move because you just came to the table with too many questions, and it was giving producers pet 1,000%, and it was a bit irritating, but yeah, I did. Gizelle try to say, well, I don't cry about things like Candiace. And Candiace said, because you ain't no crier. I know that's right. B.I.C. if I'm a crier, I'm probably going to cry about some shoes I put on my feet because they cute. Like, girl, if I'm a crier, that's what I'm going to do. Okay? That's the problem. You need to be a crier because you gives no emotion. That's your problem, ma'am. But anywho, that was the conversation there. All right? When it came to Whitney, she said she told Candiace she didn't think that she would like her, but Candiace actually surprised her. And she said that, well, so far she likes Candiace, but she says that she didn't like her because of how she mom shamed Ashley. And when I tell you Candiace was holding back the tears, girl, but I appreciated how she explained her situation when it came to Miss Ashley. Candiace said that Ashley weaponized her motherhood, and I truly agree, and I believe with that. Believe that. And if Ashley does not weaponize her motherhood, I feel like the other ladies a part of the group do that as well. Y'all definitely gave excuses for Ashley to be able to do certain things because she just had a child. And what's so crazy is we're going to see that y'all not going to get that same grace to Candiace when she is with child. Y'all going to be on the same, y'all going to be on some other BS. She not going to get that same type of grace. Just like y'all sat up on that stage and everything she was saying was right when it came to Gizelle and colorism and stuff, and then y'all tried to turn around and flip it and try to pretty much remove Candiace from being the victim in her own situation and making Gizelle the victim and then coming at Candiace. See what I'm saying? So she ain't gonna win. So that's why I be like, read them hoes for however way you want to read them. For real, for real. But then let's get to Porsha, because Porsha seemed like she was trying to go to bat for Candiace in this moment, and she was trying to explain how Candiace has grown. And Candiace was like, how? And she was like, well, if you let me finish, I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, okay, calm down. I'm gonna let you know though. But I'm gonna let you know though. Okay, scoot back. So she starts to say that, you know, when Candiace said that ignorance to Ashley or whatever, that's when she started to, like, now that she's going through IVF and stuff, and Ashley is a mom, when she said the ignorance, she couldn't relate to what Ashley was going through. But now she's going through her situation of trying to become a mom. Now she can relate to what Ashley is going through. And Candiace is like, no, that's not even it. Like, what are you talking about? Now I can relate because of what I'm going through. No, I meet them hoes where they meet me at. If she being rude and disrespectful, I'm going to get rude and disrespectful back with her. I felt like Ashley was being mean, so I got mean with her, period. And then here go Porsha talking, oh, hell, but then shit, you just a mean ass bitch then. You just a mean ass person, whatever. And I'm like, Porsha, girl, shut the hell up. You know how this go on Housewives. You've been doing it longer than her. You already know what a BIT gives, she better also be ready to take. And that's just where we at with that. But all in all, I'm loving episode 1. I think the season is going to be really good. I think it's going to be the best yet to come. And they got some cuckoos on here. And I'm going to be tuned in. But that's all I got. I want to hear you all's thoughts and comments down below. Let me know what you think of the show so far, episode 1. I'll be coming to you guys shortly with more reviews. That's all that I got. I'm JamiThatsMe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.